Good morning. It's Homesteading with Blue Sky Ranch. Hey, it's a very, very cold and chilly morning this morning. I tried to go outside and make you guys all a video, and it's literally -30 wind chill, so I didn't last very long out there. But what we're going to do today instead, we're going to spend some time in the house, and we are going to learn how to make my fantastic corn chowder. So the first thing you want to grab this morning to cook along with me is 1 large onion and 4 cloves of garlic. And let's go ahead and chop those up. So I've already peeled my onion and my garlic, so we're going to go ahead and chop those up. Alrighty, then add them to the side in your bowl and go ahead and chop up your onion now. So I went ahead and I've chopped up an onion. That onion was out of my garden and I got them in cold storage right now, so I'm able to use them all winter long. Another thing we're going to have here, so we have onion and 4 garlics, but I also make my own butter here on the farm, and I trade eggs for cream from my neighbor. They have dairy cows, so I do keep this in the freezer because it's not pasteurized, and so I do keep it in there for when I'm cooking. So we're going to cut off a couple tablespoons of butter here. And then we're going to go ahead and throw these in the pot and let them get started. Okay, so I've gone ahead and thrown the butter in a nice stock pot here. And I'm going to let that start to melt. Then we're going to throw the onions and the garlic in and start them simmering. So when I'm cooking, I try to use everything I've grown. So it calls for jalapeno. You can have 1 to 2 jalapenos. These are jalapenos, but they have turned orange and red from just sitting here and preserving. I've been letting them dry, but I'm going to go ahead and use these today. And when they get to be this color, boy, do they ever get hot. They get hotter and hotter. So gauge your chowder, I guess, on the heat that you like. We kind of like it spicy, so I'm using 3 jalapenos here. They're not super huge, but they are still from my garden. Here we are, almost at the end of December. So pretty cool if you ask me. And I did not dehydrate these. I've just let them sit here on the counter and they're ready to use. Okay. All right, we've got about 3 tablespoons of butter here and it's starting to melt. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw in the onions, garlic, and the jalapenos. We're going to let that start simmering. The next thing you're going to want to grab are some carrots. All right, so I have 3 carrots here out of the garden, and I've already peeled them. And now we're just going to cube them up, not too small. Whoop, one on the floor. Right about that size is what I like. And remember, we keep everything for the chickens, so peelings are for the chickens. Okay, go ahead and finish those up and we'll throw those in the pan. All right, back here in the pan, it's starting to simmer in the butter. I wish you could smell this butter. It just makes all butter very inferior. This is a homemade butter that I make, and it's just fantastic. Again, it's made from grass-fed cows, and It's non-pasteurized butter. I do add a little bit of Redmond salt to it when I make it, but that's it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let the carrots simmer in there. And the next thing we're going to be adding is some zucchini, potatoes, and the corn. So if you have those things, go ahead and grab them. So it's amazing here on the farm. I still have zucchini left over. This is just from keeping it in cold storage. We need 2 cups of zucchini, approximately. I'll use what I have. And I'll be taking this out, giving that to the chickens. I don't need all that pulp, but they will certainly like it. Okay. Cut your zucchini up into chunks, kind of like we did the carrots. All right, just continue chunking that up and we'll add it to the pot. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cups of zucchini to my pot. Let that simmer a little bit. And then we're going to be adding 2 cups of water and some bouillon. All right, I'm adding 2 cups of water. And then about 1 tablespoon of the bouillon, better than bouillon. I really like this stuff. You could use the chicken or the beef, just whatever you want to give it the flavor. I use the beef. All right, and just let that simmer. Now we're going to go ahead and get 4 cups of corn and 4 potatoes. Coco, here's my puppy. She keeps sneaking around the corner. I drop things on the floor and then she wonders what they are. Coco, what is that? That's a garlic peel, honey. And she wonders who the heck I'm talking to. She's helping. Coco, are you helping? What a good girl. So this is how I store my corn. We seal and meal it. They're 1 cup packages. So I'm going to do 4 of these and so I have 4 cups and throw them in the pot. This makes it for really easy use if you're making soups or other things that you like to make with corn. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add my corn. And don't worry about it being frozen. It'll cook just fine. All right, we'll just let that cook and we're going to go ahead and we're going to peel some potatoes and get those ready for the pot. So these potatoes are also out of my garden. They're a little small, so we will be just basically trying to get 2 to 3 cups of potatoes. I am going to go ahead and peel these. I don't like the peelings on the potatoes in my soup. These are purple potatoes. They're my favorite to grow. They have always grown really well for me. And then I also like that they're a little less glycemic, so a little less sugar, a little less starch in them. So I'm going to go ahead and peel all these, and then I'm just going to, I'm going to cube them up fairly large because you don't want them to turn to mush. So about like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish these up. We'll throw them in the pot. All right, I've peeled and cubed 2 cups of potatoes. Add that in. Give it a stir. Next, what we want to do is we're going to add a teaspoon of salt and pepper. Not quite a teaspoon of salt. Let's try half at first. All right. Remember, I use Redmond's real salt. Remember, we can always add more salt, but we can't take it out. and a teaspoon of pepper. There you go. Wish you could smell it. It's smelling delicious. So the next thing we're going to add, and this just gives it a beautiful color, is half a teaspoon turmeric. And then half a teaspoon Italian seasoning. I'll blend that in. The turmeric just makes it have such a nice, beautiful gold color. Right, and then the next thing I'm going to be adding is cumin. Right, and a half teaspoon of cumin. And for the kick, half teaspoon of cayenne. Now the next thing we're going to add is ham, and I also put my ham in seal meal bags, 1 cup at a time. I'm going to add 1 cup of ham. You can leave the ham out. You can choose to go vegetarian on this. But I like the ham, so it's 1 cup of ham. It's already cubed up. I'm just going to let that go ahead and sit in there, and it'll break apart. It's already pre-cooked, so it'll get nice and hot. Remember, we throw nothing away here at the farm, so chickens do not like potato peels. So I compost year-round, so this goes straight into my compost. And it's a beautiful thing. It'll be back in the garden after next year's season. So the next thing we're going to be adding is a cup of kale, and I take my kale and I freeze it. So here's my kale. It's already been broken apart and chopped, but I'll give it a little more chop. But we freeze this, and then we can add it to soups and eggs, and it's just delicious as the day you picked it. All right, let's go ahead and add that to. So the ham's already broken apart. That only has taken maybe a minute. All right, looks delicious. I wish you guys could smell it. So I'm also going to use cream. So this is about 2 cups of cream. And I freeze it for my chowders and soup. The stuff that I don't make butter out of, I freeze. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to microwave this on low. I'm going to defrost it because it's not all the way unthawed. I'm going to go ahead and defrost that, but you can use 2 cups of milk, 2 cups of cream, whatever you guys want to use. This is what I keep on hand. All right, this is 2 cups of cream that I went ahead and de-thawed, and I'm adding a 1/4 cup of flour. We're just going to whisk that together. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and add that to our chowder. So back over here, we're going to go ahead and add this to our chowder. Look at that. That is amazing. All right, so here is the next thing you're going to do, and this is my secret ingredient. I mean, it already looks really delicious, right? Well, this is what you're going to add. This is not calorie free. So if you were looking for something that was less calories, well, you could cut it. You could not add the cream. You could use, you could use an oat milk or a soy milk if you wanted. But this is not about having a low-calorie meal here. So I like it good and rich. So here's the secret, guys. I add a whole brick of cream cheese and I just kind of put it under there just like that. And we're just gonna let it simmer for probably another 20 minutes on I have it on 5 on my stove, so we're just gonna let it simmer and then we're gonna come back and check it out. So it's been simmering about 20 minutes, and as you can see, that cream cheese totally dissolved in there, and it is so thick and beautiful. So how do you know when it's done? Well, after 20 minutes you can just check with a fork. My potato is perfect and the carrot is perfect, so you don't want these to turn to mush. So this has probably been about a 30-minute total from start to finish. Easy peasy, complex so flavors where everyone is gonna rant and rave. They will never have tasted a better corn chowder, I guarantee it. And while my chowder was finishing, I whipped together a beautiful cornbread casserole to serve with my corn chowder. All right, let's plate this up. Does that look amazing? Again, I really wish you guys could smell it. This is a very complex chowder, and whoops, there goes my timer on my cornbread. And make this for friends, neighbors, family. They will be extremely impressed. So it's all plated up and we're ready to give it a try. And it's going to definitely warm our bellies and our hearts. All right, let's give it a taste.
Oh, that's warm. That's hot. That's good.
And a little spicy.
Very tasty.
Very tasty. So anyway, thanks for joining me here at Homesteading with Blue Sky Ranch on this cold, chilly December morning. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you try my recipe. Enjoy. Hey, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.